Andrew Carruthers, Education Director for Sam Villa. What we'd love to do for you is we'd like to offer you an insight into some of the really foundational pieces of haircutting. And the three elements that we feel are most important are elevation, over direction, and your finger angle. So we're going to do a three-part video series for you getting into those concepts. The first one we're going to do here is all about elevation. Elevation is what we do with the hair up and down. It's the up and down movement of hair. So on the head, if I take the hair and I move it upwards or move it downwards, that is elevation, up and down. It's really important to understand that it's an isolated thing that's vertical. It does not go this way. That's a different technique. So elevation is always what you do up and down. Doesn't matter if you're in a vertical section, in a horizontal section, or a diagonal section, the hairs within those sections need to be moving straight up and down to control your elevation. Now, the important thing about elevation is that it changes the silhouette vertically. So if we want to affect our silhouette here, if we want to maybe collapse it in at the bottom and leave more weight at the top, or perhaps we want to take weight away from the top but leave weight in the bottom, you control that element through this movement of elevation. If we have it all the way down at natural fall, we haven't lifted it at all, we have not elevated it away from the natural fall, we're going to have the maximum amount of weight down here right at the perimeter. All of my lengths are sitting in the same point, so we're going to have a lot of density down here. So let's say I want to start to move that density away from the perimeter and build it up and away from the head shape. Now I need to start lifting, elevating up and away from the head. Now from here all the way up until we hit this really all-important point of 90 degrees from the head shape, in between here and that one length, we're going to mainly be taking the weight away from the bottom and building it up and away from the head shape. Now once we hit 90 degrees, I want you guys to take yourselves all the way back to when you went and got your state board test done, and you passed, I'm sure, on the first time. You cut a 90-degree haircut most likely, because it's on most state boards. That 90 degree had to be the exact same length all the way around the head. You probably remember that. So at 90 degrees, it actually doesn't necessarily build weight into a certain area because the lengths are all even. When we pass 90 degrees from the head shape and we start to lift past that, elevate past it, we're going to start to allow more length to drop out towards the perimeter, and we're going to take more length away from the upper surface. So it releases more weight from here and allows more weight to sit in our perimeter. There's a technique that you'll learn if you go to the Redken Exchange and take their Cut and Know Why class. In Redken's PBD system, they call it swelling graduation. And what that is you're taking your section and you're putting basically the maximum amount possible of elevation to the hair. So you're elevating all the way up across the top of the head, and you'll be cutting it here on the other side. Now we're elevating that hair as far as possible from its natural fall, so what we're going to end up with is a maximum amount of movement on the upper surface and allowing the maximum amount of density to be preserved through the ends. So that's kind of the extreme version of how you can remember what elevation does. Now again, that's just one element of three, and we're going to give you those videos coming up very soon. You're going to see what the over direction controls in your haircuts and what the finger angle controls. Now if you have any questions, any comments, any concerns, you guys can just place them right in that little box below this video screen, and we'll do our best to answer every single one of them. And we really hope that you learned a little something about one of the most important foundational pieces to your overall hairdressing career, elevation. I'm Andrew Carruthers for Sam Villa. We'll see you next time.